Don Bellisario had an interesting history because he was a wonderful creator. He created a lot of shows, but he was a tough producer to work with. And I was a little nervous because several people had gone on that show and they didn't last. So when he called me, I said, well, I'm happy to come work, but I don't want to get fired shortly after I'm on the show. So maybe I should just come on as a consultant. And and he said, no, I want you on as a producer. And so we worked it out. And I came on, but I was only going to be the producer in LA. The company was shooting in Honolulu. And so I worked for about 2 or 3 months, sort of trying to get the show more coordinated together, because Don was then doing other shows as well. He was doing a show called Airwolf, Tales of the Gold Monkey, and so he was pretty busy, and so I became sort of his emissary. But interestingly enough, about 3 months into the show, they said, you should go to Hawaii. You should at least meet all the crew and the people over there. So I went to Hawaii with Betty McCart, who was Tom Selleck's agent, and Robert Harris, who was the head of television at the time. And while we were there, the producer of the show, Doug Green, who had done Hawaii Five-0, left the show, and I'm never quite sure how all that happened. So they said to me, while I'm there for a week, will you stay and work on the show here until we can find a replacement? And I was single then. Ann and I were dating, and she lived in one place and I lived in another. And I called her and I said, I'm going to stay here. Could you go to my house and she had the key to my house, and pack up some things and send them, because I'm going to be here. And so she did, and I went. And of course, I never came home. And that's how I started I started working here for 3 or 4 months, and then I was there, and I became the producer in Hawaii, and I was there for 6 years of the 8-year run.